What's going on, everybody? I'm Dominic with Power Slap News. Joining me today is Cody Controversy Cox. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's anytime.
So, you're in the second batch of fighters entering the Power Slap. What made you step up to the plate and want to compete in Power Slap? Is this something that you saw and you said, "Oh, this is for me. This is all me," or what made you want to come in?
Well, so I did MMA for a while, and I was a standing cruiserweight champion, and I seen the show, the first the Power Slap one, and the stuff going on in the house and everything, and I seen it, and I go, I could do that, and then I seen it's crazy. I went to the website and seen the apply, and I was like, I'll apply as like a joke because my friends told me I should, and I applied, and they it was funny because they texted me and they're like, "Are you still interested?" And I was like, "My friends are just they're messing with me." I was like, and then they will send you emails, and it was going through. And I was like, "Well, this is way too elaborate," and I was like, "Has to be real."
So you thought originally it was just your boys, like big prank, giving you the text messages, setting up the fake website, like setting you up for a whole like humiliation moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a real deal. So what'd that feel like when you found out it was the real deal and it set in? Were you calling them like "ha suckers," or was it more of a "holy shit, this is happening"?
It was more of like a holy shit. And whenever I told my friends, they were like, "No way, it's not happening." And then I showed them the emails, I showed them the signed contract and everything, and just the whole thing was surreal. It was crazy.
That's awesome, man. I'm sure they were hyped, right? They're especially being the ones that like encouraged you to go ahead and sign. You said that you were doing MMA. Once you signed the dotted line there, what changed for you training wise now that you've entered slap? Have you changed up anything specifically to power slap? Are you still doing what you're doing?
Well, so I've stopped doing MMA sparring. I mean, I've done some grappling. I started lifting a lot more because they're undefended strikes. So it's just you got to focus on the power and the speed of a hit. So that's really all there is to it.
But I've seen everyone kind of do something different. We got AJ out there. He's headbanging to get that neck strength up. Other people are putting the like weights around and they're doing the lifts. Everyone's got a little trying to find their edge to the sport without giving away your secret sauce. Do you got anything that you're working on behind the scenes that's going to give you that one up?
There's no secret. Some most of my wins in MMA are by knockout. Um, but the slap, I figured out that all the power from the slap comes from your hip and your back muscle. I don't think it has anything to do with your arms.
So that's interesting. That's going to lead me into one of my other questions here, which is the height versus weight debate. What do you think makes the ideal fighter, right? If I'm looking at the betting lines here, what's that weird attribute? Is it the taller fighter, the shorter fighter, the heavier fighter, the fighter with the longer arm? What's that characteristic that makes you stand out in power slap as the standout fighter?
So what stands out about me is you watch it. I have a chin for days. I can take shots, and you to go far in power stuff, you're gonna have that dog in you because you're gonna get hit at some point. I just got lucky enough to where my first fight, people seeing that you're not gonna put me down. I'll be there the whole time, and I'm coming right back. And then the height weight difference, I don't really think it matters because I mean I've competed in MMA at 205. That's my normal weight class I fight at. I went up to heavyweight to do power slap, did just fine. I mean, I think the guys at heavyweight hit harder, but the knockouts you see more in the lighter weight classes, and that's because I think the speed power ratio. I think speed wins every time.
Interesting, because you're the first person to bring up speed in this, right? We've always heard power, we've always heard technique. I've heard a lot through other fighters that you want to be the shorter. It tends to be this like come up is almost like an uppercut motion, gives you more of that oomph type of power. But speed is an interesting one when you say that. It's separate than power. I think it falls more along the lines of accuracy, no, like hitting that the right spot.
Yeah, like so you got to be accurate, and that's what I focused on mostly. Was I didn't want any stepping fouls or anything. But I mean, you spoke on the height, and what I'll say about that is, you notice the taller fighters that have. I told you earlier, it's all hip and back. So the taller fighters that have to squat down, they're taking their hip out of the equation. They can't use it because they got to use it more for balance, and so they don't pivot or lift the back foot. So I think now that you said it, I think shorter fighters have the advantage.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus when I talk to everybody else. We spoke to everyone through season one, everyone generally speaking was saying bet on the shorter fighter. That if you're looking for just body type advantage, other people were saying it's the willpower. That power slap happens to be more of a mental game than these other combat sports because you gotta brace for a hit. You gotta take that hit. There's a mental focus there.
There is. I mean, like I said, you got to have that dog in you, and a lot of people once they get hit, it's 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 easy to find a way out because you fall, you don't get back up. It's a way out
Mhm.
to where like your guys who will get hit and just stay. I mean, that does some. It distinguishes some hope for the guy you're fighting whenever they hit you and they don't fall.
Hmm.
Because they're like, "Fuck, he's here the whole time. Now I'm gonna get hit." And
A
I mean, I even thought that myself. I won the coin toss. I hit my guy, and the moment I hit him, I'm like, "Fuck, I'm getting hit."
I think a lot of people do bank on that. I'm gonna one and done. I'm not gonna get hit. And you're right. When somebody gets hit and then they give you that kind of smile, wink back, right? That like you said, that dog shines through, and now it's here we are, here it comes, right? So
Yeah.
I think speaking of the dog, we saw a lot of yours in the last fight. We saw a lot of personality come out of you. Honestly, I'm a fan. I love that kind of stuff. I think Power Slap needs it. I always talk about how I think Power Slap should have a little bit more elaborate walkouts because the fights are quick. So why not give fighters more of an opportunity to showcase who they are, their personality, and earn that fan base? We saw a lot of your personality in that last fight. You were having a lot of fun there. Talk to us about that. What was it like competing in the Apex?
So competing in the Apex was awesome. The whole situation. I met some UFC legends. Michael Bisping gave my wife a shout out on video, a free cameo, if you will. But I mean, the personality thing. Like you said, the fights are short. You've got 15 minutes tops to let Dana and all of the power slot brass see what you have to offer. And whenever I got my time, I mean, in between getting hit and hitting him, I mean, I was taunting after the fight. Personally, like the guy I went against, I have no qualms with him, but it was a good show, and his personality after the fight really made me dislike him.
Yeah, there was look it looked like there was a bit of a turn after the fight. You know, people get excited when they win that they're now in that moment, right? And they take it. But going back to what you said, you got your 15 minutes. You're in between there. On top of Dana White, you got 15 minutes to earn your fans, win or lose, right? You got that opportunity there to show who you are, and I think you did that very well. I think there's something to take note there from other fighters who are coming up or are going to have their fight. Like maybe you don't need to do everything that you want. Like don't be whatever over the top, but you gotta take that opportunity. You gotta show the world who you are and earn your fans. What was the feedback like for you on social media after the fight?
I mean, I got some follows. I got a lot of people who just because I stream on Twitch and things too. I got a lot of people who dropped in and like would share their opinions, and a lot of just like casual fans who don't really know about combat sports. They just want to put their 2 cents in. But besides that, I think I'm followed by like everybody from Power Slap One. I met all those guys; those are all super good guys, and the I don't even care about the social media part of it. Just meeting all that cast and like making connections in the UFC and Power Slap. Just I didn't realize that all those people would be like that nice, and now I'm like close knit with a whole bunch of them. Like the I was talking to Brian Dozier the other day, and he didn't get to compete because his opponent backed out. But the day of the fight, but I mean, what he said the other day was like, we're such a close knit group of friends now that like in the top five, it's all friends versus friends fights.
That's definitely something we picked up when we were in Vegas there. We were hanging out in the lobby with some of these people. Again, I mentioned his name quite a bit in the interviews because he was just such a good guy. It was Frank the Tank was out there, right? These guys it really was John Davis, Jesse Nutting. Like it really is a really feels like a tight band of community. I was talking to like everybody's significant others were coming up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're the interview guys," and I was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool to meet you." It really did feel that way that everyone was nice and tight. So it's nice that you said it yourself. Like there really was you don't really have too much animosity for even the opponent that you just went against, right? It's a sport. We're all here to compete kind of thing, type of
But yeah,
deal.
there's no animosity towards him. Like I said, like after the fight and like how he's still talking. Like I don't like the dude, but I mean he put on a good show. He took my shots. I think speaking back on like showing that dog that I had in me and I got my chance. I mean I took two fouls, but I think those fouls look good on me because I showed I can take five shots. I didn't go down. So like title fight ready already.
Yeah, that definitely counts to your stock, right? In terms of that, I want to ask you, how do you feel the strikes are compared to we saw, the rules change quite a bit. People striking has changed quite a bit. Do you feel it's really tightened up, or do you think there's still little ways to go in terms of technique, maybe a bit of a rule set change? What do you have to say on that?
I would like to see a small like the I think they got the flinching right,
Mhm.
but I think stepping fouls and clubbing I think needs worked on because I feel like a lot of those are missed. I got clubbed, um, and they said I flinched, but it was a low strike and it hit me in the neck. I didn't move my head on that one, um, but they didn't call clubbing on that one. I think I think if you club or if you step, because I seen another fight, not mine, where somebody stepped really heavy, and I think if you step and you get a stepping foul, you should lose the point, and the other fighter should get a strike added. They should be able to get one back.
Interesting, because it is a fairly shot for shot kind of sport. So if you mess up, the punishment should be, hey, you give up a shot kind of thing. I can see that something maybe along the lines of a more significant instead of just a hey, here's a warning. What do you want to do? Kind of take a shot, take a foul. Do you want to redo? Like there is a little bit of a room there. I was curious on your thoughts on what do you think of the coin toss? Are you a fan of the coin toss? Do you think there's a better way to decide who goes first? You arm wrestle first round? Like what do you think in terms of how do you figure that out?
You it should be a coin toss to pick how you figure it out. And like heads is a fucking thumb war, and tails is rock paper scissors.
A rock, paper, scissors. I hear there's strategy to rock, paper, scissors. People do that stuff competitively and make some pretty big money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I would like to see something else. I've heard other fighters complain of the inconsistencies. Some referees catch it, some referees let it hit the ground, and it's a huge deciding factor in this sport, right?
I mean, it is, and I mean, there's some guys, and like I said, I won't name drop nobody, but there's guys who've had like they've won every coin toss, and like statistically, that just doesn't happen. So I do feel like it's kind of the way the guy tossing it. I think he's throwing it, or just how he goes about doing that.
If we did stick to the coin toss, what do you say? We do it NFL style, flip it, it just hits the ground, nobody touches it, everyone stares at it kind of deal?
I think if they're gonna do a coin toss, it shouldn't be done by person. They
Mhm.
should. I mean, it couldn't be hard to make a machine that does a coin toss.
That's exactly what my buddy has said, right? We've talked to him before and he said the same thing. Just get a little thing, press it, flip, it does it, and it is what it is, right? That's not a
Yeah,
bad idea either.
and like even making it a 2 out of 3.
Yeah, could do that too. Just would add a little bit more to the build up as well, right? We like they do make an event of the coin toss. They do instead of like a little bit of they do it with the face off, right? Added a little bit of fanfare to that as well. I want to get your thoughts on season 2, Dubai. What are your thoughts on Dana White said he's reaching out to the Russian, Polish, South African kind of talent? Have you taken a look at any of those leagues, the Russian league? Anybody out there catches your eye? Like, oh, I hope they get him. I'm going to knock the hell out of him. Anybody that from there that you would like to fight?
So I take a vastly different approach to the sport.
Hmm.
to where I don't really I try not to watch it because I don't want to look at a guy and be like, oh shit, that's the guy that's gonna hit me. And I wanna kind of stay out of that to where whenever I show up, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And go out there like that. Like I'll watch people that's not in my weight class. But I mean, going international, bringing in Russians and everybody else, I think super good for the sport. Um, a funny story. I don't remember the Russian guy's name, but we went to the UFC PI to do ice baths in the sauna and stuff, and a buddy of mine was like thinking about going into the ice bath for the first time, and this Russian dude was already in there. He had a UFC fight coming up in a couple weeks. He goes, "Just do it. It'll be okay. Just do it." And just calling him into the water, and I was like, "You don't tell him no." I was
No,
like, "He'll make you do it."
yeah, that he says get in the water, you get in the water. So what's that like? What's the training and the support that you get now that you're in Power Slap in the UFC Performance Institute? What's it like out there training with the legends?
Just train with the legends. I mean, Ryan, the King of King Phillips, man, he's
The
just
King of Kings.
a wealth of knowledge. Just being there for the short time I was, he made my slap way better than what it was. He's got a lot of knowledge to pass on. Everybody there was super nice. Met a bunch of UFC legends. I met Bisping. I met Misha Tate. I met Josh Barnett from fucking Pride. I mean, just a lot of those people, man. I met a whole bunch of people, and they were all super nice. And um, Josh Barnett actually invited me to a wrestling show, but I had to work on that day. So
That's a bummer. Missing out on that. That would have been fun.
yeah, it was. I mean, it's super cool though. And just the whole situation. The UFC is great. I love it. Uh, and just being subcontracted technically by the UFC is just like a super huge flex to my friends.
Yeah, I could imagine. And super flex to the stream, I could imagine too now, right?
So it did. I didn't really give like a huge presence showing that I did a stream and things. Um, because I don't want it to all come by just like casual people seeing it and being like, "Oh, I want to follow this guy."
Hmm.
I want them to be two separate entities. I mean, it'd be cool to get some people that go over there and see it, but I don't want that to define what my stream is.
Interesting. So you really want to keep that as its own living, breathing thing. That's doing its thing. Slap is going to go its own way. And if you got some fans that overlap, it is what it is. But you're not gonna force those bridges to cross.
Yeah, I don't want to force anything down people's throats. I mean, if they like me and they come to my Instagram and ask me what else I'm doing. I mean, I'm super friendly. I message everybody back who messages me. So I mean, that's one way to get to know me. I mean, I play video games on my stream. I'm not slapping people, so I mean, some people might be into that, but not the other. So yeah,
So
that's just different.
So super nice guy. Probably going to ruin my next question. I like to ask everybody. There's a lot of hate out there on Twitter, Instagram, and all that. I like to ask the fighters, what do you have to say? What's the response to all these haters on the Twitter, Instagram? Give us the nice guy response.
The haters of what? Power slap?
A power slap. Yes, sorry.
Uh, well, so and I mean, I'm a nice guy, but it's we seen my whenever I get on that stage, I'm not as much of a nice guy. And the thing I'll say to the haters of Power Slap is, listen, you watch boxing, you watch MMA, you go top tier. These motherfuckers are taking hundreds of strikes. Max Holloway's last fight, they were beating the dog shit out of each other. I'm taking my last fight. I got two flinches, took 5 hits, clean max. I'm not taking 100, 200, 300, just clean strikes. So that the haters fuck off with them. I mean, you got to use your brain. And a punch is way more blunt force than a slap is. There's more surface area of a slap. So, I mean, scientifically and just talking anatomically, a slap is safer to take to me, I think, than a punch any day. And I mean, I've been in MMA fights where I've been bloody and I've been hit and I've been hurt. I go to the back and I'm messed up for weeks. My legs hurt, my arms hurt. Um, and then I go to power slap, and the next day I wake up and I'm like, oh man, this is nice. My face hurts a little bit and it stings, but I'm good. So just anybody hating on this sport, just you watch people do fucking rodeos and don't say anything about that. Those people are getting launched 15 feet into the air and slamming the ground. I mean,
Rodeo's a new one.
haters will hate.
I've had people say the luge on Winter Olympics crazy dangerous. No one bats an eye. I've had other fighters say you put on a Red Bull hat, you could do whatever you want. You got a Red Bull logo, you can jump over a helicopter with a skateboard, nobody bats an eye, right? Climb a mountain, no ropes, make a movie out of it, nobody cares, right? You guys go on stage, get 3 slaps, and all these people on Instagram, Twitter are just absolutely blowing it up. I think Dana White said it best. A lot of the hate isn't towards the sport. People like to hate Dana White. They like to hate anything Dana White touches. That's something that's fun to do. Unfortunately, you guys as the fighters take the front end of that. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
So I mean, on I scrolled through TikTok just like everybody does, and I found a highlight video myself on there, and I jump into the comments because I'm like, I wonder what it says, and there's just tons of haters in there. And one was like, "Oh, early onset dementia." So I jump on there and I go, "Well, I was like, this is a week out, and I'm feeling pretty fucking good." I was like, and I explained to them my whole MMA boxing. They take 100 a shot to the head, and I mean, like you said, fucking the X Games, people launching themselves off skateboards and backflipping dirt bikes and shit. I mean, there was that one dude that died doing that backflip on the dirt bike, and nobody said a thing.
Not banning dirt bikes, right?
Yeah,
But why would you want to ban dirt bikes, right? I'm not in support of that either, right? I think everyone has the freedom to do what they want, and I think you should be able, if this is sanctioned, you got medical support, you got people looking after you, you're choosing to do it, no one's forcing you to do it, why not? Same thing as the dirt bike, right? I think they fall under the same lines, comes down to like freedom.
well, so and like a lot of the hate too is some people do physical labor jobs and they're messing their body up there. And a lot of the haters that do that will be like, "Oh, I make so and so much money," and I'm like, "I make like more than you make half a year doing 10 minutes of work." Like, I think the wear and tear on your body over the years is going to be way worse than mine over the years.
That's another really good point, right? The argument that I see a lot that really frustrates me is you're not defending yourselves. Oh, in MMA boxing, they defend themselves. But when you're in an MMA fight, as an MMA fighter, is the goal to punch the fighter where he's defending himself, or is the goal to punch the fighter where they're not defending themselves?
The goal is to hit them clean. I mean, and there's collateral damage. I mean, the guys who do defend themselves, they get their legs broken, they get their arms broken, they get their shit happens. And I mean, haters are going to hate any day of the week, and they're going to find something to hate. If it's not power slap, it's going to be the rodeo. If it's not a rodeo, it's going to be people, kids getting in schoolyard fights. Just there's always stuff to hate on. There'll always be stuff to hate on, and as time goes, people are bitching about more things. I mean, we're growing up in a world full of haters. Joe Dirt, life's a garden, dig it.
You threw me off with that one, but that's definitely true. I don't want to take too much of your time. I really do appreciate you hanging out. Before I let you go, though, any sponsors, any websites, anything like that you want to shout out? Where can people find you? Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, maybe even the stream. I don't know if that's that bridge yet. Whatever.
I mean, so I'll fly through all those. Twitch is Kurtotep. It's KURTOTEP. Instagram, I believe, is the same. You'll find me pretty easy everywhere. Kurtotep is my tag for everything. And then sponsors, I don't have any yet. I'm working on some. I'm looking to get some of those. Just shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to Ryan Phillips, Dwayne Crespo, Cole Young, Brian Dozier, Anthony Blackburn, Andrew, Casper, Uncle Drew. There's a bunch of people. I could go on and just rattle them all off. Um, Shout out to Static, even though my son likes his slaps better than mine. I mean, that's just a ton of stuff, man. But yeah, anybody who wants to follow me on socials, follow me. I mean, I'm a nice guy until I step up and compete. I'm a competitor, so I go up there. I'm going to show you everything I got, and I pour my heart out there. Just like I said, it's surreal. It doesn't feel real. Everything that's happened is awesome. I look forward to this journey, and Power Slap it's new. We're pioneers of the sport, and can't stress it enough. Haters are gonna hate, but they can fuck off. I mean, they're still watching it. You're hating, but you're still watching it.
That's the big one, right? They're commenting, but they're giving you views, you know? So you'll take all the views you could take. Thanks so much for giving me the time, man. We really do appreciate it. We'll link everything you need us to link below. We'll definitely hit you up. We hope to see you compete again. We don't want to spoil nothing for anybody, but we coming back?
I'm coming back. I'm coming back next month. So I'm flying out next month. And I mean, I won't drop an opponent or nothing, but for my final message for this whole thing, and I need this to be put out. Austin Turpin, Ryan Phillips is going to slap the fuck out of you. He's going to murder you, you fucking meatball.
That seems to be the running meme now. The meatball in the community. I've been seeing it quite a bit.
He's a Chef Boyardee meatball. He's not even the good kind.
Oh my goodness, that's going in the video. I'm sorry, it's going in. Thank you so much. We're gonna end it there. Have a great evening. Again, we understand you're busy. Everyone, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys for having me. Hey, if you guys have any of your own merch and you guys want to send a t-shirt or something, I'll wear that and get you guys some clout.
Oh, by all means. Well, we got t-shirts, we got stickers. When we were in Vegas, we were throwing stickers at everybody. So